And the title of what I'm going to teach on today is separation season. You know, because I know one thing, this is where everybody starts to slow down in the year, the 99%ers. What they start to do is they just start to kind of coast through the end of the year. In my life, I've drawn inspiration and motivation from the end of the year, it being my best part of the year. I know that as you're going around that track and I'm coming up behind you and you start to slow down and I start to gain momentum, I start to feed off of that momentum. So I want you to think about your career right now. What are some habits right now that you need to separate from going into the season? I see a lot of people, they're gonna hang out with a lot of people that they don't wanna hang out with right now. It's gonna lower their standards. Think about you. You're probably gonna get off this call, drink a whole bunch, and then wonder why you have confidence issues. The promises that you keep for yourself, the life that you currently have is only because of the promises that you've been keeping or not keeping to yourself, okay? The confidence that you have right now, it's because of there's something in you right now that if you did, you would exude more confidence within you. But because guys, right now there's not a lot of salespeople with a lot of high standards. I'm gonna talk to you today about how you change that. I'm gonna talk to you today about how you grow that. And I'm gonna talk to you today about if you're really aware of what's going on in the sales world, dude, you can kill it. You can kill it. Number one, you got to define your personal promises. You got to decide, like, through this season when people are going to slow down. I'm not telling you not to go have beers with your friends. If that's what you want to do, that's what you can do. It's just not what I'm going to do. You know, you can decide what your holiday season is going to look like. Mine's going to be full of love in my household. I'm going to do a lot of things with my wife, with my kids. I'm going to do a lot of things. I'm going to be aware, but I sure as hell ain't going to go lower my confidence, lower my momentum, and do a bunch of things that are going to hinder my performance. Athletes, top performers, guys that have the highest level of confidence in any game, their whole life, they're building this momentum factory, this momentum machine so that they can go out and perform at the highest levels. Guys, if you're in sales, you're in a high level sports type of environment. And if you don't know that, that could be your problem. That's why you're getting your ass kicked by other people like me, because we're preparing our whole life to go out here and meet this customer. And you're like, whoa, that's a little too serious. I know, dude, that's why we dust your ass. You got to understand, dude, our whole life is about setting up this confidence. And anybody who's on that's obsessed on this call, they know the confidence I'm talking about, because an obsessed person, it can either be good for them or bad for them. If you don't maintain and grow your confidence and you're obsessed and you understand what I'm saying right now, then you can become your own biggest enemy, and actually your confidence can start propelling to the bottom. And when it does that, you tend to go with it. You tend to drive yourself into a hole. You tend to hate yourself. Could likely be that you're not you're maybe in the 99% because you don't care. If you don't care, then this call really isn't for you. This call is for the people that know what I'm saying, which is this confidence is earned, and it's earned every day. And if you ever retreat on your confidence, then it becomes like you're in a little bit of a hole. So through this season, separation season, I want you to define your promise that you're going to make between now and January 31st. And it could look like this, man. You know what? I know that I'm a more confident person when I hit 10 contacts a day, 15 contacts a day. I know that I'm a more confident person when I go to the gym once a day. I know that I'm a more confident person when I'm a good teammate. I know I'm a more confident person when I'm building up other people. I know I'm a more confident person when I'm doing XYZ action and it leads to XYZ belief. I know I'm a more confident person when I wake up, give my wife some love, do this, do that. I know I'm a more confident person when I do this. You have to have an awareness of what your confidence is, and it's not an external thing, it's an internal thing. A lot of people think it's external, it's internal. It's the relationship that you have with you, and believe it or not, it transitions into your sales a whole lot. Danielle Rutin said, I get in my own head too much and it hurts my life. The way that you get out of your own head is you act yourself into a new way of thinking. She's thinking herself into a new way of thinking. She has these big hopes, these big dreams, and she wants to do this big stuff, but what she does is she gets caught up in inaction. I already know what her problem is. 100%. Danielle, what you need to do is exactly what I'm talking about, is act yourself into a new action, into a new result, into a new belief. If you want a new belief, here's the quadrant that you need to write down. All right, take 4 squares, put 1 square here, 1 square here, 1 square here, 1 square here. Danielle, anybody can do this. In this square, I want you to put potential. Potential right here, draw a line like this to a square right here, right there, okay? Square, potential, okay? Action right here, result right here, belief right here, and a line right over. So let me go back over that. Potential, action, result, belief. If Danielle wants to get out of that inner head cycle, What she has to do is she has to start taking a new action. Have you guys ever developed like a new habit that you knew was good for you, man, and you just started like pushing harder at the gym, you started making more phone calls, you started making that new action? If you took that action, do you feel like you're in your head? You don't. What happens is you take that new action, you get a new result, you're like, oh my God, it wasn't that hard. But the hard part was just taking that action so you could get that memory of confidence, and then you get a new belief which taps into the potential. You take the action, it leads to a new result. The new result leads to a new belief. That new belief leads you into grabbing more of your potential. And then you start to believe in yourself more. It's kind of easy to understand, and if you follow that, it's just a map. If you ever feel like you're not getting enough out of your potential, go back to action, go back to result, get it, and then we'll remember it, okay? So write down some small specific goals you want to achieve, man, this week, today. Listen, man, you can draw a lot of confidence just from today's action that you take. So small disciplines repeated over time, they're just consistencies. Listen, Tom Brady said it best, man. He said, it doesn't matter who you are, what you do. Winners are going to do what losers just won't do more consistently than they're willing to do it. That's it. You just have to do some things more consistently over a period of time. So I want you today to think about a small consistency that you can have over just this little period of time, just this week. Guys, listen, it's the end of the month. You could double your sales right now. You could triple your sales right now. It's all in your head. It's all right here. It's all right here. Listen, if you believe me and you got off this call and you took 15 more actions than you normally would take, you typically call 20 people and you called 50, and you got a new result and you got a new paycheck and you're like, oh shit, it wasn't that hard. Well, naturally you would start to believe in yourself more. Naturally, there's something in you that should be doing something right now, and you could have a conversation with yourself about doing it. And if you did it, you're going to experience a new confidence. Confidence starts with trusting yourself. It starts with keeping the promises to yourself. Some of us, we've just kept bad promises to ourselves, and it's okay. In order to get a new confidence, you got to start to trust yourself again. In order to get another confidence, like this guy, he's in his head about his performance. His whole life is on the line about his career and everything like that. He just has to get out of his head, get a new confidence by taking some more action, having a better reputation with himself. One of the problems is he's been going out and celebrating like he's a Super Bowl champ. You ain't won a Super Bowl, bro. You made it. You made $1 million. Anybody can make $1 million. That's not special. That doesn't make you anybody. Now you're defeating yourself and you're totally against yourself, and you waited 20-something years to get to the NFL, and now you're tearing it down. How his confidence is tearing down is because he's around a bunch of people that are slapping him on the ass, telling him he's great when he's not even there yet. He's not even there. He's doing all the things that he was against in college football to get to the NFL, to now he's looking back and he's doing all these things that weren't what got him here. Double down on what got you to where you're going, where you're at, what you know. You know what to do. You know what to do. You just got to do what you know. Number 2, create a success habit loop. Identify 1 or 2 habits that are easy to achieve and commit to completing them daily. Easy to achieve, man. If it's in sales, you should say, hey man, listen, I know I need to get a result. I feel really confident when I'm getting a result. There's a thing called the winner effect. The winner effect is this. I'll give you an example with mouse. They took a mouse and they put another mouse in the cage with the mouse. The mouse is fought. This mouse beat that other mouse's ass. That mouse, they took him out. They put another mouse in. This mouse, because he was winning and he had the confidence of winning because he was getting results, naturally he beat that mouse. And if they put another mouse in, if a winner mouse went against another winner mouse in that same day, that mouse would always just continue to beat him. Why? Because he had the memory of this confidence. He had the memory of this momentum. In sales, the game is momentum. The game is shifting your perspective. The game is, even when you lose, you have to remember when you won. So you can transfer that momentum into your clients. You can transfer that momentum into your mood. James, when you sold a car, you're on fire. You're like, oh yeah, baby. Oh! And when I see the next client, it don't even matter, baby. I'm good. And then you're on fire. You're more happy because you just had a win and you're counting that win. So then you take that into your day and then you sell the next car. They say in the car business, when is the easiest time to sell a car? Right when you sold one. But why can't we transfer that momentum naturally? It's a mindset. It's a mindset. Listen, guys, I woke up today, I saw my baby. He's super cute. I just love him so much, right? And I woke up, I saw him. I already have that momentum. I already have that confidence. I'm already thinking about when I had my biggest month. You know, some people, they make it their biggest month and then they're like, dude, that was a fluke. You can't do that again. Dude, you gotta stop that self-doubt, self-trash. Get rid of it. It is you. You prepared for it. You got that big month. You can repeat it. It's on you. You got that. But the winner effect is this, dude. Listen, even if you got your ass knocked out in a UFC fight, let's say you're a UFC champion and you're going up against a UFC champion and you lose the fight. Now, a lot of people would leave that fight like, I'm a loser. I lost that fight. See, champions, what they're gonna say is, at least I was in that cage. At least I was throwing my best fight. At least I was pushing ahead. At least I was doing this. And they're going to continue to carry that memory of confidence, and they're going to come back and fight. Okay? So dude, no matter what, you got to draw confidence from your past experiences and bring them into your sales game today and act it. Like literally, if you walked in like you sold something already today, you naturally would sell something. You naturally would exude something that people would want to see in you. But see, this is the trick. It's your mindset. What I want to urge you guys to do, and if you really understand what separation season is about, let me explain. I want you to get a new result this season that you've never got. This is between you and you, and you can act as cool as you want, but you know there's something on your heart you need to get rid of. You know there's a habit that's not suiting you. You know that there's something that's holding your confidence back. You know that there's something, if you beat, if you destroyed, if you committed to, you naturally would rise. That's what I'm after. That's what I'm after with you. Because I know one thing. If you say you're not going to do something, like, oh, I'm not going to do this thing because I know it's bad for me, and then you do it, does that higher your confidence or lower your confidence? It lowers it. Who wants the highest confidence going into January 1st? Who wants it? You just got to decide right now that, hey man, I'm not, and this might not be the best thing for me to say because I'm a sales trainer, but listen, I'm not even trying to train you right now to get results today. I don't even care about the end of the month. I don't even care about December. I think you could totally separate yourself from everybody and beat a lot of the losers that are off the gas. But I'm talking about if you could commit to the next 40 days of the end of the year, you're going to experience a different personality of yourself. Do you want to know how to get out of your head? Get a new result. Take a new action. Have a new discipline. Get committed to like the actual alignment that's in you. Nobody knows who you're built to be other than you. And if you're in your head, here's the coolest thing, Danielle. That just means that you're supposed to be somebody. You know who's not in their head? Losers. You know who doesn't care? Losers. You know who's not training? Losers. So the fact that you're in your head, you got to reframe the way that you talk to yourself. You need to say, I'm in my head because I want it. I'm in my head all damn day long. What are you talking about? I'm in my head 24 hours, 7 days a week, and but I've learned how to pep talk myself. I've learned how to say, you know what, God, you're showing me this because you're telling me this, and I have these things on my heart because I'm supposed to act, because I'm supposed to be somebody. But I want you to create a success loop. That's number 2. Identify some habits. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems and your processes and what you do. Create just a little system around what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, and what your goal is. In the car business, I wanted to sell 60 cars. I broke it down into something easy, and it was, I couldn't manage the outcomes, but I could manage my attitude. I could manage my effort. Those are 2 things that I could 100% manage 100% of the time. 100% of the time, my effort and my attitude. Guys, I'm nobody. Like, for real, I am just a kid from Denver, Colorado. I didn't have a whole lot. I had a mom that worked really hard. I had a grandpa that worked really hard. You know, my grandfather, I watched him do some amazing things, which he just cared. He just outcared everybody in the community. Everything in his life was about giving to others. I saw that in him, and I drew confidence from that. I drew confidence from, number 3, my intent. My intent is like my grandfather's intent. I think people don't even understand this part in life. My grandfather, when he showed up to do something, he showed up to give it his all. He showed up with an intent of serving people, with an intent of love, with an intent of passion. See, I feel like when I enter the room, I'm not even entering the room for me. Even when I was in car sales, I was entering the room to serve, not sell. I was entering the room to help, to love, to care. I was entering the room to be the best teammate in the world. I was entering the room like, dude, you never split a half deal with me. I just give you the full deal. If you were struggling on my sales floor, I go sell a car and go put it in your name. Like, see, my intent, I draw confidence off of my total intent. I know that my intent is to be the best teammate. I know that my intent is to be a good person. I don't think a lot of people draw confidence from just saying, dude, I want to be a good person. I draw a lot of confidence from that. I draw a lot of confidence from, I saw my grandfather be a really good guy for a lot of really good years. And I feel like if you can really draw that and take that into what you're doing, you can walk into any meeting and be like, I'm here to help these people. Have you ever seen somebody walk into a meeting and they look like they're in their head? Oh my God, what's going to happen here? I don't even care what's going to happen. I'm here to have a conversation. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to love you. I'm here to add value to you. You walk into my dealership, dude, I'm giving you a hug. You don't want a hug, you're still getting one. Okay, why? Because I'm giving you love, I'm giving you passion, I'm giving you energy, I'm giving you courage, I'm giving you belief. Like, that's how I roll, okay? That's how I roll. I don't know how you roll, but that's how I roll. When I'm talking about a success loop, man, when I wake up in the morning, I go to the gym. Why? Because, like, man, if I don't, it's not a successful loop for me. It's like I have to do things so that I can experience certain things. Your feelings and your emotions, they're just things that you're doing. They're just things that you're doing. If you want a better feeling of joy, a better feeling of emotions, if you want a better feeling of everything that you're doing, just do a different activity, you know, just do something different. If you're feeling down, depressed, in a negative state, I guarantee you're not working out. I guarantee that you're not up and at it. I guarantee that you're in a defensive posture. I guarantee that you're not being proactive instead of reactive. I guarantee you're just letting life come at you, and then you're like, I don't know why it's so overwhelming. It's because you're not moving. You got to attack. You got to be on the offensive, especially in the sales game. So create a success loop that allows you to be in offensive mode. I had to go to the dealership 45 minutes early every day, because if I felt like I started the day and everybody was in front of me, I felt like I didn't have enough time to get my momentum going. So I'd show up 45 minutes early, I'd walk through the service drive, I'd call my hot list, I'd set my appointments, and then by the time I got into the sales arena, I already felt like I already had momentum. I already felt like I had customers coming in. I already felt like I had things going on. So you have to set your day. You might have to be proactive of having your day set for you on your calendar, and that might keep you in that positive momentum, that positive frequency, that winner effect. You know, by having these small wins, they become part of your identity, man. Acknowledge and celebrate your efforts, man. This is a big one. I see a lot of people, man, that they're just comparing, you know, their life to other people's, and, you know, that's just how they roll. You know, confidence grows when you focus on what you can control and your efforts, and not your external results and not anybody else. It grows. So, like, listen, man, if I'm doing sales and the top guy's got 30 cars out and I set a goal for 10 and I hit 10, you bet your ass I'm going to be confident on that. You bet your ass. If my goal is like, hey, man, today I'm going to accomplish these 3 things, and I accomplish those 3 things, I'm going to celebrate my win. I'm going to say, man, you know, at the end of the day, I'm going to write down things that are a reward for me, that I know if I can hit. Hey, I'm going to hit 20 sales calls today. I'm going to work out today. I'm going to do this with my family today, and I'm going to accomplish this. If I do that, I know I'm moving in the right direction. Sometimes it might not feel like you're winning, but if you're setting up these systems, you're kicking the ball, you're just going a little bit more down the field. And then all of a sudden, here's what happens in the sales momentum game. You wake up and you look over, you got all the prospects coming back in, and people can't even see the momentum that you're experiencing. But for those 2 weeks while you were building it, it may not have even seemed that big. It may not even seem like it was that amazing or that tremendous, but you built that sucker up. And then when it happens, you can ride that momentum train for a long time, but you never want to stop, because if you get off that momentum train, if you get off of what you're doing, momentum works in a good way and it works in a bad way. It goes down, and if it goes down, it starts to spiral, and if it goes up, it just goes up a little bit, and you got to keep pushing that bar. You guys feel? Hey guys, it's the Macklin Twins. Let's go. Hey guys, if you have any questions at all, we want you to text us. Our phone number is 480-780-2203, and one of us will get back to you. We got your back for life. Let's get back to the video. Let's go. Let's go, baby. You got to embrace imperfection. You know, I think a lot of people just want everything to be perfect. They just want everything to be perfect. I'm going to read you a Bible verse, because I think that you got to understand it. I'm calling you to a life of consistent communion and communication with me. Basic training includes living above your circumstances. Above your circumstance. What did he say? Living above your circumstances, not your current self. Living like your future self. Living like your future confidence. Living like, hey man, in a year, this is how I think I would act. I'm going to act that way today. I'm going to work that hard today. I'm going to work like this person that I intend to become. Man, you got to play a future version of yourself out and act like that person. Check this out. Basic training includes learning to live above your circumstances, even while interacting on the cluttered playing field of life. You yearn for a simplified lifestyle so that your communication with me can be uninterrupted. But I challenge you to relinquish that fantasy of an uncluttered world. Accept that each day as it comes, and find it in the midst of chaos, and find me and the peace in the midst of it all. Talk with me about every aspect of your day, including your feelings. Remember that your ultimate goal is not to control or fix everything around you, but it is to continue to keep communicating with me. A successful day is one in which you have stayed in touch with me, even if things feel undone at the end of the day. Do not let your to-do list, or written or mental, become your idol directing your life. Instead, ask my Spirit to guide you moment by moment. He will keep you close to me. He will keep you focused on the bigger picture of your life, and that is the perspective that you need to carry to each day. That's amazing, man. That's Theologians 5:17, Proverbs 3:6. Focus on living above your circumstances. Focus on like the bigger version of yourself. I know that this happens in life. We think like, hey, we just cap ourselves. Everything that you believe is happening in your life is happening. Not typically do you go make 100 grand in a month or 50 grand in a month and you think that's a lot. Do you typically just go put up double the numbers that you think and that just naturally happens and it just somehow happened? No, you thought it was possible. You dreamed it was possible. You took an action to make it possible, and then it happened, and then you got a result, and then your belief changed. But it's a standard. The life that you're getting right now is a standard that you decided on. And this is the coolest thing about life. You can decide on a new standard today. You can decide on a new standard for this season. I believe that everybody is one season away from a completely different life. One season. I've seen the craziest transformations. I got off the phone with a guy the other day. I mean, I remember when he slept in his car outside of the Lion's Den here. I remember when he spent his last $1,000. He had $1,100. He had a baby coming. I said, I don't recommend it, dude. I think that you need to just, I recommend anybody invest in themselves, and that's the only way to kind of learn to get the skills that you need. Like, you have to have the skills to buy the freedoms. You have to have the skills to buy the leverage in the market. You have to have the skills to kind of do anything. And you got to continue to keep getting them. You have to have that edge. But he was making 40 grand a year. He made 56 grand last month. You know, I see it all the time. And some of you are like, it's not possible in my business. That's your problem. That's your problem. Everybody told me it wasn't possible in my business. They told me it wasn't possible in my dealer. They told me it wasn't possible in this business when we opened it. I've never had anybody tell me anything's possible, ever. I was at a car store that was selling the number one car salesman sold 26 cars, and it was an 80-year record. My 4th month, I sold like 47 cars, and our shittiest guy sold 26 cars. Why? They saw a different passion. They saw a different belief. They saw a different energies. They saw a different standard. My standard was not their standard. My standard was, I believe it's possible. I truly do. I truly believe whatever I think is going to happen is going to happen, but I also know it's going to come with an unreal, ridiculous, sickening work ethic. You know, one of my biggest problems in life is, some people would say is, and I think it's my special strength, is like, I don't turn off. I don't have a day off. I don't have a dream off. I don't have a night off. When I go to sleep, I dream about getting better. When I go to sleep, I dream about bigger results. When I go to sleep, I wake up with a pen and pad next to my book, and I just work really hard, man. Some of the people's problems on this call, I'm just being honest with you, this ain't a call where it's just like meant to hype you up. This call is meant to have kind of a real conversation with you. Your problem could be that you just work. And I don't know how to coach somebody that doesn't work. For 8.5 years, I never took a Saturday off. And I watched all these people around me that were making 50 grand a year, 60 grand a year take a Saturday off. I'm making 4 or 5 times the amount than them. They're asking me how I do it. I'm like, well, dude, you take Saturdays off. I'm like, I've never taken one off, you know? And then my career got to where I was working 3-4 days a week. You know, I'd work the weekends. I'd work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and that was typically my schedule. And I'd sell 4 to 5 times the amount than everybody else, but I had to get there. It took me 7 years to get there, okay? So, I mean, a lot of people want the life that you have, like maybe if you're successful, but they just don't want to do the work that you had to do. The work that I've had to do has been sickening. It's been hard. It's been extremely challenging. There's many days that I've wanted to quit. There's many days that I've wanted to give in. There's many days where I just didn't have the stamina. I've sat in my car. I've been like, man, I can't do it anymore. I'm like, this is unreal, dude. I can't take it. I'm having a mental breakdown. And then you know what I do? Just do it. I wait for 5 minutes. I get up, I go pump some curls, and then I just figure out a way to get it done. My number one superpower is consistency. I'll beat everybody's fucking ass in the world in consistency, because I've never not shown up. And there was a time where I didn't have consistency, and part of my identity crisis was because I didn't have that. The number one ingredient in winning is consistency, if you want to do it for a long period of time. And some of you probably are like, man, when I get here, I'm gonna chill. That's your problem. That's your problem. I'm not thinking that way. I know when I get here, it's gonna be 15 times harder, so I'm building myself to be able to handle that, and I'm prepared for it to be hard. I'm prepared for it to suck. I'm prepared for it not to be fun. I'm prepared to face dragons. I'm prepared to face demons. I'm prepared for it, and it's no big deal. But I'm gonna go out here and give it my all. If I know that I'm giving a lot, feel good about me. If I know that I'm not, I don't feel that great about me, man. We had that Spartan race, and last 3 years, we've never had anybody finish in the top 10. It's hard. There's like 5,000 people. And we had 3 guys finish in the top, 2 guys finish in the top 3, and we had 6 guys finish in the top 7, or top 10. I finished number 6, my brother finished number 7, and honestly, I would have never done that shit. Honestly, I mean, I would have done it like I did it last year, where I was pushing myself and I was beating like all the average people, but I had to beat some really extreme athletes. And honestly, I did it because the people that were next to me, that were in front of me, Kobe, Austin, Luke, these guys were pushing so hard. It increased my frequency, increased who I am, increased the things that I was doing. Think about when you're around a guy that's moving like a legend, that's moving really strong, that's moving really fast. You got around me in sales, you got around me for a weekend and how I operate. Naturally, you would increase. So you do need 3 things to adjust your perspective: new people, new information, and new experiences. So if like you're sitting on the sidelines and you're not coming to seminars, or you're just doing this shit online, it's only gonna take you so far. You actually have to like jump off the internet and do something new that you've never done before. And you gotta continue to keep doing it. That's the craziest thing. You know, I was pretty proud of myself for finishing 6th, but I was mad the whole race because I'm not good at being 2nd or 3rd in anything. And I just felt like my body would not allow me to catch these I literally was at a running speed the entire time. I didn't realize that I didn't bring running shoes, so I was wearing Air Force Ones. My feet were bleeding. My hands are just jacked up. You can see all the cuts on them and everything like that. I'm still so sore, but I gave everything I had. So much so I threw up on myself while I was running, and I kept running. And I wanted to quit the whole time, but I didn't want to lose. And I knew that eventually, and I was in like 30th the whole time, and I could see this pack of guys. But I knew, maybe not my guys, but I knew that a major majority of these guys would quit. Once they got to this stadium carrying the bag shit that's carrying like an 80-pound bag up these stairs all through a stadium, and then the ending is at the end and they put the hardest shit at the end, I said, these guys have been doing the easy shit. My mind is gonna carry me through to kick a lot of these guys' ass. I saved a lot of my energy, and separation season came, and I just blew their asses out of the water. I ran so damn hard. I was throwing up on myself, and I was making sure they saw it too. And I was running up them stairs, throwing up on myself, and I was making sure they saw it, dude, because I wanted them to know, hey, you don't have what it takes, dude. I do. I knew it was okay, but I knew that if I could just continue to keep it together, it would break open for me. How much is that about success? Some of you guys, you're just so close to making it, to hitting that next year, but you just can't quit. God wants to see if you can endure it. God wants to see if he can trust you with your blessings. He wants to see if like you're able to go through the fire. How many people have you guys seen, like motivational speakers that have been to prison, that have like literally had the worst lives? I've seen so many motivational people that have had the most messed up lives, and then they made a decision to raise their standards, not be that person anymore. And it was like, there was nothing to it other than that. And then they had to make that decision every day, which is the hard part, and continue to be that person. What I'm asking you to do in this separation season, this isn't really a training. This is really a confidence talk and like how I know you can go to the next level. What I'm asking you to do this next season is to break through the barriers of from who you are now to who you could be. And who you could be is if you gave it 1 full month of true learning, growing, total immersion, investing in yourself, coming to seminars, whatever it is, man, just like full immersion, like full everything that you got to stay committed, to not quit, to not give in. I truly believe that you will be a different human in this spring. I've been able to watch some amazing things with athletes, salespeople, high-level leaders, and if they'll follow this formula, they'll gain their confidence back, and they typically won't lose it if they continue on this framework, or they will if they don't. Find small ways to help or uplift others. Compliment some people, man. Offer assistance and support. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. If you're feeling helpless, like you're feeling helpless today, get helpful. You know that like, yeah, man, your product is serving somebody today. If it's serving somebody and you're helping somebody, help them at a level that makes you feel good about you. This is the hack to confidence. If you go and do a really good job with somebody, have you ever had somebody say, man, Anson, dude, thank you so much for helping me with that thing today, man. That thing that you did, it changed my life. Have you ever had somebody say, man, like, dude, the fact that you came into my life and provided that energy or something to you, have you ever had somebody just be so thankful for your service? Have you ever had that feeling? That's the greatest feeling of all time. And if you can do that feeling more often, then you're gonna feel really good about your results and really good about yourself. 6, I want you to visualize future wins, man. I want you to think about, if you can see it, if you can speak it, if you can believe it, it'll happen for you. Stop visualizing a lot of the bad shit, man. Listen, I got these things called triggers, and you do too. You know, when I walk in through a door, I'll give you an example. I have this thing called a door trigger. It's something I created in my own life. When I walk through a door, I go, I am him. I'm here to set the pace. I'm here to set the tone. When I walk in this, I'm gonna raise the tone of this entire room. That's how I'm gonna roll. So no matter what's happening in my life, when I walk in the door, no matter what room it is, I know I'm gonna raise the temperature. I know I'm gonna raise that freaking effort. I know that when I walk in, people are gonna know. That's my deal. When I walk in, I say, man, I'm gonna be the best teammate ever. I see a door, I walk through a door, I try to come in one way, and I try to go onto the other side of that door a different way. And I just think of a different thought. I just think of a different behavior. I just think of a different mindset. And then I just push myself. I'm like, man, when I walk through this door today and I meet this person, man, I'm gonna give it everything I got. That's my biggest takeaway from the day. That's all I gotta do, man. I'm gonna raise the temperature. That's typically my thing. I'm gonna show these people some love. Whatever I'm gonna do, you can trigger yourself to think different thoughts, to have different habits. You can trigger yourself into having more joy, to having more fun. Have you ever seen a salesperson that's having the most fun ever be not successful? You've never seen a salesperson that's having the most fun in the store not be successful. You know why? Because people want to be around them. You know who people don't want to be around in sales? The person that's caught up in their own head. The person that's thinking about them. The person that has commission breath. The salesperson that's the most successful in any room, they're the person that's really trying to build a big business, that's really trying to build a good customer base. They're the salesperson that's not after the daily commission, they're after the fortune. And the fortune is in the friendship. They're after actually loving people, man. And I don't even know if you can train somebody to fake that kind of shit because, you know, I watched my mom go buy her first car, and I watched her have this guy, Lamont. I've told you guys a million times the story. And I watched my mom, that guy, roll out a red carpet for my mom. I watched him bring the car to my brother's football game. All my friends react. I watched all that. I caught a lot of behaviors from a lot of the things that were around me, and that was one of them. I saw that happen, and I said, man, like, I mean, I didn't even realize it as a little kid, but I drew some inspiration from it later on in life. You know, I see salespeople that aren't great. It's pretty easy to understand how to be great. You know, what are the losers doing? They don't got energy. They don't got effort. They don't have accountability. They don't have respect for themselves. So what would we do? We just not do those things. And honestly, I think all of those have to do with your confidence. Anchor it in faith. Practice gratitude. Practice faith of the higher power, man. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the staircase, man. Martin Luther King. Taking the first step even when you don't see the staircase. You can have all the faith in the world when you're healthy. You can have all the faith in the world when it's a good day, but you gotta have faith like in you and who you are and your intentions and what you're here to do it for. And if you got good faith in you and you got good belief in you, nobody can take that. Nobody can take that from you. And if you can radiate that into others, that's the best success tip. That's the best sales tip I could ever give you. If you believe in you, if you believe God put you here for a reason, Frank, go deliver it to somebody, man. Go deliver it to the people around you. Go deliver it to anybody. Go deliver it to people in the gas station. Go deliver it. There's somebody who needs what you got. There's somebody who needs to see you win. You're like, well, I sell cars. What does that have to do with anything? I'm like, dude, you think so small. When customers came into my job, I wanted to deliver passion into them, fire into them, energy into them. I wanted them to see my eyes. I wanted them to see that I was different. I wanted them to see the love and care that I have. I mean, I invented a big brand in the car business. Very proud of it. I didn't know that I was doing it. I got to be honest with you. It never felt like I was making history. It just felt like I was trying to love people. It just felt like I was trying to be different. And it's funny because I think when you do the right thing over time, the market just starts to reward you and recognize you. And I think the market recognized that, like, when people came in, I actually gave when they left, I actually really wrote every customer a letter when they left, and it would be like this, you know, David Ramos. It'd be like, hey David, I saw how great of a husband you are, man. I'm getting married myself this year. Just wanted to tell you, it's very inspirational to me. Appreciate you, man. Hope I can do business with you someday, but I want to tell you, you're very special. And I gave every customer a card that left. Why? Because I called it offboarding them. I spoke to some of you guys this for 3 years. You've never given a customer a letter, ever. And then like you show up and you want me to motivate you or give you some new tip. I'm like, I've taught you sales training. I've taught you mindset. There's no way you shouldn't be 3, 4, 5xing your income. When I give that customer a letter and they'd go back to their car, what do you think would happen? Common sense, they'd look at the letter and they'd be like, wow, that guy's a good guy. And then they'd go next door to the other store and then that guy wasn't a good guy. That guy wasn't tapped into his purpose. That guy wasn't doing it for a bigger reason. That guy didn't care about people, and they'd always come back. That's not hard to do. But again, that takes like a little bit more effort. That takes a little bit more belief. That takes a little bit more like doing things not just for yourself, but for others. And honestly, I drew confidence from, since I did things nobody else did. When I said I was different, I believed it. When I went to the gym at 4 in the morning, I drive to work and I say, they don't want it like you want it, Ian. They don't, man. You're showing up. You're reading the Bible in the morning. You're doing these things that people don't do, okay? You're different and your day might be hard. You might want to quit. That doesn't make you bad. That doesn't make you imperfect. That makes you human, bro. But you're not going to quit. You're going to love people. You're never going to give up. You're going to keep going. Even if you have a bad day, you're going to wake up the next day and you're going to do it with just as much passion, even more. That's what winning is. My definition of winning, Brian, is when you get your ass kicked, you show up with a great attitude the next day. And I think the coolest thing is, it's never been easier to win. You're like, what do you mean, Ian? It's not. I'm not winning right now. If you play with your heart and you're in sales and you're giving people true love, true passion, and you love you, they're gonna love you. They're gonna refer you to all their friends and all their family. If you're in sales for longer than a year and you're not receiving 70 to 80% of your business from sales, you're not loving people enough. If you leave the dealership, if you leave the place of business, I'm still sending you a gift. I'm sending you DoorDash to your house. I'm sending you crumble cookie. I probably sent out 1,000 crumble cookies. Maybe I should pull up my DoorDash account and show you guys how many crumble cookies I've sent to customers. $10 almost guarantees you a deal. Because even if they don't buy, but you do things that nobody else has done, do you know what happens to you? You believe in you. And that's the game. That's the sales game. So today it's separation season. There's going to be a lot of people taking the time off. There's going to be a lot of people that are like, hey man, it's a holiday. It's a holiday, Ian. It's a holiday, man. It ain't a hol a week. It ain't a hol a year. I love it that it's a holiday. Show your family some love. But some of you, man, you need to show up for yourself. You need to show up for others. You need to show up and show yourself that you can get a new result. Some of you, you need to get fired up. You need to get a little pissed off. You need to get a little bit more loving. You need to get in the lanes with people. You need to get out there, man. You need to shake more hands. You might need to go stand at the mall for 5 days so that you can learn to just fail, and win. Some of you got to get out of your own damn way. Some of you, you need to pray a little bit more. Some of you, you need to think a little bit more. Some of you, you need to get closer to your purpose. You need to get fired up. You need to get passionate. You need to get alive. You need to get in the gym. You need to get thinking. You need to get training. You need to do it all. And is it going to be hard? Yes, that's why it's called being a 1%er. Not everybody wants to do it. Now, a lot of people are just cool with getting a blanket, tucking them in, and calling it a day. I'm not cool with it. I want to be the best. I want to be somebody. I want my family to look up and be like, man, that dude gave it his all. Man, that dude left no stone unturned. That dude, when he came in, he separated himself from the best, man. The winners beat losers and legends beat winners. I'm not after to beat the average people. Everybody can beat the average people. The average people don't care. They don't show up. They don't got commitment. They don't give a shit. You can see on their eyes broke, entitled, arrogance, ego, and pride and selfishness all over them. I am not them. When I show up, I'm showing up with love, respect, gratefulness, a heart, passion, enthusiasm, excitement. I'm thankful for these people. I'm excited for these people. I'm ready to love these people. I'm ready to pour into these people. I'm ready to work hard, okay? For 5 years, in my first beginning of my career, everybody wants to know how you did it. Here's how I did it. My store was not open on Christmas. I didn't know any store in Colorado that was. I went to my owner and I said, hey, is it illegal? Like on Sundays, we're not allowed to be open because it's legal. He said, no. I said, hey, do you mind if I have the keys? I'm gonna get my family to spend Christmas on the day before, and then I'm gonna come spend the day at the store. I see all these people walking around last Christmas. You mind if this Christmas? And me and my brother were there. Me and my brother stayed at the store for 5 Christmases. And now listen, did we spend time with our family the day before? Did we watch Home Alone and all that stuff and eat with them and have fun with them? Yes, we spent a lot of good intentional time with them. But me and my brother walked in on Christmas the first time and we knew it was a success because we walked in and we had like 15 customers. We had like 50, their customers were everywhere. We couldn't even take them on test drives because we weren't allowed, but we were opening doors, we were meeting people, we were talking to people. And you know what we earned in that time period? We earned that we were different than everybody else. It wasn't even about selling cars. At the time, I thought it was about selling cars. But you know what it was about? I was different. I knew I was different and I was doing things to fuel my belief, to fuel my confidence, to fuel that I needed to do something different than people. Now, some people are like, I can't believe you missed Christmas with your family. I can't believe you did that. you're never gonna make it, dude. You're never gonna make it. You're never gonna make it. You're never gonna have that confidence. I had that confidence because I was searching for the edge. I was pissed off. I was trying to win. I was emotional. I knew I had a family. I knew I had people counting on me, and I wasn't gonna let them down. When I left the store on Christmas, and I'm like, me and my brother got 15 new customers, and they came and bought the next day, and people were like, how'd you get these people? I'm like, dude, I was here on Christmas. And they were like, what? They're like, what? I'm like, you should come next Christmas with us. You know who was there next Christmas? Nobody. You know who was there the next Christmas? Nobody. You know who was there the next Christmas? Nobody. You know who was there on my family vacations when I was taking my family to the Bahamas and I could afford to have my whole entire family go out there? Not them. You know who was working at that time? Them. You know who had the money? Me. You know who didn't have the money? Them. You know who had the self-confidence issues? Them. You know who had the self-worth issues? Them. You know who didn't? Not me. Not me. Not me. I didn't have a problem with that. You know why? Because I worked my ass off. Ass off. Ass off. There ain't no way around working your ass off. Get your ass up and do the work. And if you don't want to do the work, just tap out. Just tap out. It's super easy. You can tap out. And maybe you have been tapping out. And here's what I'm here to tell you. If you just stop tapping out for maybe one season, separation season, you're gonna see that you have everything that it takes, that you are qualified to make the most money in your industry, in the nation, because everybody is tapping out. And as long as you don't, as long as you stay focused, as long as you bring some Jesus into your life, as long as you get fired up, as long as you get passionate, as long as you get alive, what you're gonna see is it's actually not easy. It's not hard to be over here. It's not hard to be over here. It's my life. I got a lot of stress running our company, doing everything that I got to do. I got a lot of stress of these things, but they're actually not even that hard. It'd be a whole lot harder to live knowing that there's more in the tank that I'm not getting to. It'd be a whole lot harder knowing that I got this potential, but I'm not getting any of it out of me. That is painful. Here's how you get it out of you. Stop looking for motivation and take action. I gave you some tips. Get fired up, man. Show the world what you're capable of. You know, be the person that in one season you changed everything in your mentality. You can't think yourself into a new way of thinking. You got to act yourself into a new way of thinking. Acting yourself into a new result. Acting yourself into a new belief. Acting yourself into a new habit. Think of anything in your life right now that you did for 100 days. It starts to become who you are. It starts to become who you are. You're like, oh my God, I don't even remember that person. I don't even remember what happened there. And then if you do that bullshit again, then you're like, oh, I can't believe I fell into that trap again. Okay? Here's the cool thing. It's a new slate. It can all be a new slate today. It can all be new today. It can all be brand new. Stop conforming to everybody else. Stop killing your dreams. I want you to dream. I want you to believe. I want you to hope. You'll find nothing. You'll find complacency. You'll find dark. You'll find doubt. You'll find shame. You'll find disbelief. This kid 4 years ago, I told him, I said, man, one day you're going to be like an owner. One day I showed him the pictures of my phone on the Nissan store, and I said, dude, I walked around 15 years with my name on the front of this building. Don't let anybody kill your dreams. Believe it can happen for you. Man, you're a few years away from changing your whole life. You're one season away from changing your whole life right now. Now let me let you out with this. Change is instant. It's today. It's a different frequency. It's a different belief. It's a different love. It's a different care to your family, your friends, your coworkers, your team. It's just now. And I don't care if they knew who I used to be. I ain't him today. And you can make fun of me. You can doubt me. I changed. Okay? Results take a little bit of time. You can change today. Results may take a little bit of time. But if you change today, and if you change this season, here's what I want to tell you. You're going to be so happy you did 45 days from now. And I don't care who you are, man. I don't care if you're 18 on this call. I don't care if you're 50 on this call. If you just believe what I'm telling you, I swear to God, it will happen for you. But it won't with baby action. It won't with making a baby decision like, oh, I think I'm going to do it. It has to be like, I'm going to do this, man. I'm going to contribute my full time and energy into being the best me, to being the best to my customers, to being the best to my teammates, to being the best to my friends. And if you can do what I'm just telling you, it'll change your whole life. It will help you tremendously in your life. So thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. This is where you make your stand. This is where you become the best. This is where you change your store. This is where you change everything. This is it. Let's go get it. All right, guys, you're the true 1%ers. You made it to the end of the video. Let's go. Like, comment so we know who you are down below, and then share this video to somebody else who needs it. And also turn your notifications on because we got the fire coming every single day. Amazing. We'll see you at the next video. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.